What is going on, Lucid fans? Welcome back to a Financial Journey. So hopefully everyone is having an amazing Friday, especially with Lucid up as much as it is. I don't think anyone is having a bad day, but I'm going to be talking on one thing that I found when I was doing a lot of research about insiders. So I want to share that with you and get your take on that. But before I do, making sure you guys hit that thumbs up and subscribe is always greatly appreciated. And so with that though, let's get right to it. Live ticker is going at the very bottom of the screen. As you can see, 2.3% up, 5.1 million for volume, 404,000 shares being purchased by institutions just today alone on the secondary market. So overall though, I think it's a nice change of events, especially for a Friday. But not only that, the volume has actually started to increase over the last week or so. So I think that's a nice change, and hopefully something big is going to be coming from all of that. But like I've always said, when it comes down to the insiders, I think the first entity that everyone thinks of is the PIF, and rightfully so. So they do have roughly about 1 billion plus in shares, so that's always a good thing. Vanguard has 41.2 million, BlackRock 27.1 million, and you guys get where I'm talking about with this. Right now, when it comes down to Lucid, everyone has been maintaining their position, so I think we all need to take a step back. I want to share with you one thing that I found that is very interesting. So as you can see right here, this is all the insider trades for Lucid. So it does show some sales, but keep in mind, I'm not here to spread any FUD. Those are all associated to taxes, and I'm not going to say otherwise. Keep in mind though, I'm not a financial advisor, so do your own due diligence at the end of the day. But when it comes down to it though, it's good to review a lot of this. So you can see at the very beginning here, it says AR Third Investment, aka that's the PIF. So they do have 1.02 billion in shares. So that's definitely a very good thing. Then you kind of just scroll through. So you see Eric Bach, Peter Rawlinson, a lot of big names that we already know about. But then there was this individual, Turk, and then I'm not going to pronounce the last name. I'm going to completely butcher that, so my apologies in advance. But he drew my attention because as you can see, this column right here does show that they have a 10% stake in Lucid. And so I found this a little bit more interesting because I don't even see that for Peter. So when it comes down to this, I'm not really familiar with that. I was always under the impression that a CEO could own 10% at least of a business. So let me know your thoughts on that in the comments below. Maybe I've been wrong this whole time and maybe I just don't know it. I don't know. This is why I always say this is only for entertainment purposes, so make sure you guys do your own due diligence. So let me know in the comments below, but this caught me off guard because I see this random individual. I've never seen him in any PR, no VP or anything like that, but yet he has pretty substantial holding, 2.07 million shares, and he owns 10% of the companies. So what does that ultimately mean, and who the hell is he? It shows him as a director, but like I said, I've never even heard of him before. So I wanted to do a little bit more research and see who he is. So I went on Lucid's board of directors. So you see all the board of directors right here, and then you do see him. So it does show that he actually served as a deputy governor and also head of international investment division at the PIF. So that definitely caught me off guard. Like I said, especially we all know that the PIF owns a substantial holding, but it does look like even individuals that are associated with the PIF are backing up the bus into Lucid. So this threw me off. And not only that though, clearly when someone is awarded or given actual shares, typically the common process is that they get some taken off for taxes. So this is where you see a lot here as far as sales. So Peter Rawlinson, in reality, this isn't necessarily him selling because he thinks it's going to go down or whatever it is. He's selling because of taxes. As you can see, code F right here, payment of exercise price or tax liability using portion of securities received from the company. So it's for taxes, to be fair, but that's beside the point. So you do see a lot of big names selling. So like I said, Peter Rawlinson, there's also Sherry House, Eric Bach, but you do not see that individual selling. So once again, that threw me off. So similar to what the PIF and their stance with Lucid clearly is part of their 2030 vision, but this Turk, I'm not going to say his last name again because I'm going to butcher all of that fun jazz, but he still is one of the only individuals that have not sold, especially since the beginning when they were all awarded their shares on July the 26th, 2021. So like I said, let me know your thoughts on that. Also, let me know if anyone does know out there, if Peter Rawlinson, why is not showing him as 10% owner of Lucid. So based on the actual share quantity that he does have, he definitely needs to be there because right now, given the circumstances, Peter is showing 21.7 million shares. So pretty substantial holding. But keep in mind though, this just came down the pipeline today, which hasn't actually been reflected on this report right here, but does show that a lot of insiders did hypothetically sell. So I'm not here to say or spread any FUD. Like I already said, this most likely is going to be for tax purposes once again. But I think we take it for granted. A lot of people typically like to hate on Lucid for a lot of things, but our insiders do not sell. And when that does happen, that's usually seen as a very negative sign. So I also do cover SoFi. I'm sure a lot of you guys may watch those videos as well. So make sure you guys do watch those and hit the thumbs up on those. Is always greatly appreciated. But we all know when it comes down to SoFi, their insiders sold. So you do see SoftBank, on which they did have a pretty substantial holding, and unfortunately they did sell. So it's always a very negative sign when a 10% owner does sell. So like I've already said, I think we do take that for granted, the fact that none of the big insiders in Lucid have sold. So again, let me know your thoughts on all of this in the comments below. I think we just need to be a little bit more appreciative of Lucid and trust the process. I know I'm one of the first ones to always say when there's good, the bad, and the ugly, but sometimes the ugly helps transform the actual company into something good. Imagine a company only going through good things, not experiencing any negative sides and learning how to handle those. So obviously I'm referring to the production issues that they've encountered. That's something that they are working through, and that hopefully now that they have worked through this or are currently working through this, then hypothetically it will not happen again in the future. So that's something I think a lot of investors just need to take a step back and realize. So I had a little bit more of an epiphany yesterday, so let me know your thoughts on that. Don't forget to also hit that thumbs up and subscribe, is always greatly appreciated. And if you could let me know about that Peter Rawlinson being a 10% owner, if he's not allowed to or whatever it is, I'm not really familiar with that. So let me know your thoughts on that, or if anyone knows. Don't forget to have an amazing weekend. And with all that said though, I appreciate you guys watching, and let's all make a lot of money on Lucid.